We are here with Justine and Natasha from Two Black Girls, One Rose. And I love that you guys have been best friends since high school because I don't know if you know, but so have we.
I know.
Like, did you meet in
Amazing.
like ninth grade?
I'm one grade level above Justine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So probably, 10th grade for me, 9th for her.
I guess. We didn't hang out though until I was in 10th grade. You were in 11th, I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we, story goes, like we've been watching TV and bonding over TV pretty much since then.
Yeah.
Justine had the Laguna Beach DVD set.
Oh.
And we would sit in the lounge together and watch it and just like talk about Laguna. And that was
At school?
At school. In the student lounge. And
oh my gosh.
that's kind of how our friendship started, watching TV and talking shit.
That is cute. You know, when I first started dating my husband, and he lived in New York, and I would go there to his place, and he had the box set of what was it with Jessica Simpson, Nick Lachey?
Newlyweds. Ooh,
what was your first show that you two like
Laguna?
Laguna. I was on the thing. Laguna
Beach.
I know, but when I saw that he had that, I was like, oh, this is a potential. I love that he's watching this.
Interesting that he owned that, not you.
Yes. Oh yeah. And then
cool.
and then we went to his family home. He had like the Queer Eye for the Straight Guy book. Like on how
book.
Like to teach guys how to be like, you know. And I was like,
yes.
This is, and back then they called it, what did they call it when a guy was like
Metro?
Yes.
Metrosexual. Damn, throwback.
And back then you kind of wanted to have a metrosexual guy. So anyways, you guys have bonded over reality television, and your podcast is named one of the 50 best podcasts to listen to right now by Time Magazine. They've been featured on ABC, Lifetime, The Washington Post, LA Times, New York Magazine, to name a few. So everyone, because I mean, it is like reality television, The Bachelor Nation, all this is cult-like following, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
How many years has it like, okay, how many years it was Laguna the very first one that like kicked it off for sort of like reality TV?
For us,
for us, but actually no, I was watching The Real World with my mom when I was
gonna say for us in our friendship, Laguna, but we're definitely part of the MTV generation. Like Real World was huge. Road Rules.
The Challenge. Big Brother has been around for a really long time.
Have you been doing Big Brother like since the beginning?
No, we're not into that like fandom. But never. But one of our patrons ended up winning Big Brother and came on our show. Taylor Hale. She's like a record breaker. She's the first Black woman to ever win. And she was one of our patrons from the very beginning. She's
guys, I have to give you a quick story that we're Canadian, so we get everything but 7 years after you. When we ask if Laguna was the first, we got MTV, I think, in like 2020. I'm kind of joking, but it was
okay, a little delayed.
So very delayed, we don't get everything. So if we're a little bit slow in knowing what the things are, it's our Canadianism. When we used to go on trips to America and be like,
turn on the TV.
Yeah, we were like TV. We didn't get Real Housewives for like 6 years later. It was crazy. I had to give you a quick story. If we were like, what's the first show? It's Canadian. It's the Canadian in us.
Got it.
So, but you've been watching The Bachelor. Like, have you been committed to every single season of The Bachelor since the beginning?
No. So we started, watching it together during Rachel Lindsay's season. So she was the first Black Bachelorette. And we had a whole ritual. We would get a bottle of wine. We'd get together at each other's houses. We'd watch. And the show would end at 10, but I'd still be at Justine's apartment till like 1 a.m. Like,
easy.
What would you be like, analyzing the show or just having another glass?
Yeah. She was the first Black Bachelorette. So I had never really watched the show before, like religiously all the way through, but Natasha had watched and would tell me about the drama that was going on. I was like, that sounds crazy, but I'm not investing in this. And Rachel came and I was like, I'm invested in this. And that's when we would just sit around and talk about it and analyze. It's the same. Do you guys watch any, like, have a show that both of you watch and you guys didn't, even if it's not reality, Succession or White Lotus or whatever?
I watch it all.
I can't watch TV.
She can't watch TV. So no, we don't get to bond over. No, it's look at
both of us are like, what?
Yeah, no, it's like the attention span is too short, even without commercials, the whole thing. So she doesn't.
Okay.
So no, so we can't talk about TV together.
It's really bad. I tried to get into The Bachelor, but I just found it I don't know, it's so predictable, I guess.
Yeah, it's formulaic.
So, like, and it's just hard to know all of them. And then I'm like, just who gets the rose? Let's land this plane a little bit faster.
She needs to watch like the first and the last. But I have to say, like, that ritual of looking forward to, let's just use the example of The Bachelor.
Yeah.
I remember like on Sunday nights, it's like, you have to go to work on Monday. I was good with Mondays because that's when we got The Bachelor. It's like something, it was like something to look forward to. So Mondays weren't so bad. And the feeling of just like, of it always happening. It's like a friend you got to see once a week. And it was just so comforting to watch. And I haven't been into it lately. And I really feel like I'm missing out on that part of my life.
I know. And, I think it is like, what does it do for you guys? Like watching it, is it something, was Rachel Lindsay pre-COVID?
That was pre-COVID. Yeah. So that was 2017, I think her season was. And yeah, the show is, very formulaic. Like Justine and I started watching together Rachel Lindsay season, but I've kind of always watched The Bachelor. It's always been, I remember seeing season 1, just kind of one of those shows, guilty pleasures, always had in the background, maybe watch with my mom.
He was a bit creepy, that guy, right? I think I remember.
They're all little.
I know.
The first guy wasn't
the first guy. He's a little dorky, I think.
It looked dorky, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, they've had some doozies on there. I do know that from the magazine. They have not built it out of the park on that one.
No. Hard to find a good one. But yeah, it's kind of just one of those like very familiar, comfortable, guilty pleasures. As you said, like it's very formulaic. You know what's coming. But yeah, Justine and I, when we started watching together and really analyzing Rachel Lindsay's experience, particularly as a Black woman, the first Black woman on the show, we realized that although it's like a very like, bubblegum pop kind of show, there's a lot of conversation that can be had. Particularly watching her experience, we're having a lot of nuanced conversations about being a Black woman finding love. And so, after her season, we were like, let's start a podcast. Like we were realizing other in the Bachelor Nation podcast sphere, there weren't any people of color talking about The Bachelor.
Yeah.
So we thought that could be a nice little avenue for us. And we just wanted to have conversations as two best friends watching the show, having fun, but then also talking about some of the themes that we're seeing popping up in the show as well.
Okay, were you happy with her choice?
No, is she still with him?
Oh yeah, she's still with him. Love Brian.
He is so hot.
Yeah,
and we were in New York once, and he walked by, and I was like, I was like, oh my God, it's Rachel's guy. Oh my God, he's right there. And he was like, he's just so pretty and good looking, and they're such an amazing couple. They're married,
Yeah, they're married. Yeah, there's not many. There's not many in the franchise that are still together, but they are one of them. Yes.
So your listeners, I don't have the questions. He has the questions, but I'm just curious from someone who like is not a Bachelor. If you don't watch The Bachelor, I'm assuming you can come and have the dialogue of something around I feel like I would be so more into this than because you guys are looking at a perspective rather than I want to talk to someone when I'm watching it. That's what I want to do. I need to go to your house and talk. That's what you guys do. You talk with
and you also talk about like the whole franchise and the conversation around race and diversity, which obviously with Rachel being the first Black Bachelorette took so long, and we always don't see amazing representation on the show. Have you seen in the past few years change?
Not really. Like we had post 2020, or I guess specifically post George Floyd, we had the first Black Bachelor announced in an extraordinarily pathetic manner. He was a mixed man, but he looked like he was monoracial. So they propped up his white mother right next to him as soon as they announced him. And they really did. We always say they did everything wrong that you could do with a Black man season of The Bachelor. It was really, really
He was, again.
He was Matt James.
Matt James.
Yeah,
that was a whole crazy thing too.
It was wild. It was wild.
Was a tough season.
Tough season. That was the season Chris Harrison got fired. That was like there was a lot going on in that time period.
And those two are still together.
They're still together. Running around New York eating bacon, egg, and cheeses.
Yeah.
Okay, so the conversations that come out of this obviously are a reflection of what society is going through, it seems, because it seems like, or not going through enough of, it seems like you guys are seeing threads, because they must edit it so heavily, right? Like you get probably a 3-second conversation of a longer, like, did they address did they try to sweep Chris Harrison under the rug when that happened? Because it happened and then it was over, or, did anyone call out?
It happened on a interview or podcast with Rachel?
With Rachel Lindsay. Yeah, it happened on Extra, I want to say. Can
you remind everybody what happened there, and then the conversations that you were able to have through the podcast and with all of your viewers?
So, Matt James, his final rose went to Rachel O'Connell, who's a white woman. They found pictures from her in college at an Antebellum South themed party, which obviously not great, particularly
if you're Canadian, if you don't know and you're listening, that means she basically went to a plantation party.
Yeah, like a slavery themed party.
A slavery themed party, yeah.
So those pictures popped up. This is the season of the Black Bachelor. What's going on in casting? Why are we not doing enough background checks to make sure that something like this doesn't pop up? It happens every season, but why this season in particular? And so there's a lot of conversation around that. And Rachel Lindsay, as a correspondent on Extra, was having a conversation with Chris Harrison, who was just defending Rachel O'Connell like to the death. Like this was the cross he was going to die on, that the woke police was being too critical of her and we need to be more accepting of her and this, that, and the third, instead of actually talking about the implications and the impact of those photos and how that just the meaning of seeing those photos, particularly for Black viewers, particularly for a Black lead, and just diving into that conversation. So he proceeded for 12 minutes to bark at Rachel Lindsay about how everyone needs to calm down. And so he got fired swiftly after that. And the franchise couldn't really hide it. It was very public. It was very arrogant. It was against Rachel Lindsay, who, I mean, she has a big fandom behind her. So people defending her to the death as well. And so, it wasn't good. I mean, to your question earlier about is the franchise, if there's been change, we've seen change in the fact of sure, we've gotten our first Black Bachelor now. After Rachel, we had Tasia, we've had Charity, we've had other bachelorettes, particular of color. So we've seen more color, I guess, on screen. But the change that we talk about and change that really needs to happen on a more systemic level is behind the camera. Who's producing these shows? How's casting being done? Those are the things that we really want to see. How are they editing the storylines? Are we just seeing the Black contestants on day 1 and then by day 4 they're all disappeared and we don't learn anything about them? So that's really the change that we're slowly kind of seeing in the franchise, but it's not quick enough and not enough.
You're so right, because I think that what I know from the show, which is limited because I did watch a few, is they create characters and they storytell and then they make you want to fall in love with someone, right? So they take you and they'll highlight some people's stories and not other people's stories, and that's strategic, right? Is they kind of create you to fall in love with someone, and if you're kicking everyone off, but we did that, and then you're actually we had people and then they're gone, you're not giving people a way to understand and identify and get connected to people who might look different than them, who are watching and understand a story that is, just as important as somebody else's. So I think that is really so important. You highlight that too.
And why, I mean, this probably is a question for so many television, marketing, everything, but how does the Bachelor Nation or whatever, how do they not know that it's obviously not inclusive enough and it's obviously not making enough change fast enough? How, we know, how do they not know, or do they not care?
Are you talking about the fandom or the production?
The production.
Oh, production. Oh, they know, and it's a formula, and they're doing that on purpose. I mean, it's very obvious because I remember, oh my gosh, I think it was Becca's season of The Bachelorette. They had an Asian man on there, Venmo John, he was called. He was one of the founders of Venmo. If he was white, he would have been The Bachelor. Flat out. He would have been The Bachelor.
And he was the founder?
He was one of the founders of Venmo. One of the co-founders.
Was it popular back then?
Yeah. Oh, when Becca was on? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I remember seeing fun fact, Canadians don't have Venmo. Carry on. Don't even. Don't.
Right. Yeah, you don't.
No, we're not talking about this.
Right.
Carry on.
I forgot. Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. So yeah, it was like, it's just extremely obvious from those points. And it's also very obvious to us that, okay, so you guys just don't want these stories told. Like,
is that guy still the producer? Like Fleiss? Like
no, he left maybe 2 years ago, 2021. I want to say he left.
Got fired. I think.
Okay, I mean, the glasses. I was like, get your yellow tan glass. Don't do that. It's kind of like, don't drive a white van. Don't do these things. You're driving a white van with
You're a kidnapper.
I'm like, don't do that. And then don't walk behind women at nighttime. Cross the street. Anyways, that's my.
Did either of you ever consider being a contestant on The Bachelor?
No, but I've tried to audition several.
You did?
Friends. I've tried to audition friends. I've tried to put friends in the ring,
and nada.
They always had like a scheduling conflict of some sort. Like one of them, she like bought a house at the same time, so she couldn't do it.
Okay.
And you have to give up your life. You have to like hand everything in, and then you have to move in somewhere, and you sign your life away. You don't get paid for this, right? You just go and you hope that.
No.
As far as I know, they don't get paid, as far as I know. But yeah, they have to take a leave of absence from your job. Some people quit their job to go on the show. But Justina, have always said that, another big part about Bachelor Nation is the fame and fortune that can come from it. Instagram is like a huge currency now for contestants. The number of followers, the gaining influencer cred and diving into a whole new career in influencing for a lot of the contestants. So yeah, we've always said you would be a fool to go on the show just for love. Like you have to have an ulterior motive because this could catapult you to something else if you want it to.
Absolutely.
So for those who quit their job to go on the show, I would assume they're quitting because they're also trying to make a career pivot.
So it's a game. It's kind of a game
creation.
too.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, it's also like, I love when they're like, oh my gosh, he's just an actor or a singer who wants to become famous. And that's why
right. Okay.
It's actually a smart business move. Actually.
Right. You want to do karaoke for the rest of your life? Like, no, you want to catapult yourself.
How would you like to see the format of The Bachelor change? What would make it like switch it up and make it
you
better?
Guys are the producers.
Yeah,
what's happening?
We're hiring you.
You know what? They freaking should. I don't know. That's crazy because you guys know it in and out, and you are a consumer, and then you're also talking about it. That's crazy. They actually haven't hired you.
Wait, have they? Do they pay you to talk about it?
Nope.
Oh, please, no.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Nope.
I mean, right now we're watching Golden Bachelor, so I don't know if you guys know about that.
Okay, Golden Bachelor. Let's go.
I just want to say that I haven't watched it in a while, and I really feel like a part of my, like I'm missing something in my life. Sometimes you feel like you're missing something. Maybe it's love, maybe it's a hobby. For me, it's like not watching The Bachelor. But my mom is watching Golden Bachelor. I remember when I used to watch The Bachelor with my mom, she'd have to leave the room because the cringe was too hard for her to watch.
Okay.
Yeah, you feel the same way. Totally. I love the feel of the cringe. And so she said that she's watching it and she has to walk out of the room. What is the Golden Bachelor? Oh, and then my friends, like she's watching with her mom. She's like, Mom, go get some Botox and a new outfit. You're on the next. You got to get on that next one. What's it like?
Golden Bachelor's been great. So we've only a few episodes in. And I think it's definitely the change the franchise needed, or like the new energy that the franchise needed. Gary, our Golden Bachelor, is just a really nice, genuinely nice man. Like it's been a long time since you actually liked the lead. It's been a long time since production even liked the lead. Because that you see sometimes too, where you can tell the production hates the lead and is trying to like sabotage them. So he's great.
Can we just talk about, is there a chance that he's such a nice man because he's more evolved and more mature than the other ones? Or do you think he was like that at 25 and 30?
Who knows? I don't know, actually. That's a great question. He came in his widow, I want to say.
Yeah, widow.
His widow was his high school sweetheart. So he was with this woman his entire life. They have 4 daughters. So I think part of it is that he raised 4 women.
Yeah.
And he's only had sex with one person, maybe.
Probably. Yeah.
Because, we always Kat says this, but also like so many people are like their next marriage is so much better because the man is a different man than he was when he was younger and he's learned so much. Or if he's gone through something, a big,
like a trauma transition or something, like,
someone died.
Men take a little bit to self-reflect that it's not just about them and that they are like, wow, life is more than, older men are often like just they have different better conversations, and this is not a fact, I'm just saying it seems like when you talk to an older man they just don't have not all of them have like it's just a gentler, it's like they listen more.
I think it's also cool watching him because he hasn't been on a date in like 55 years or something, like, so it's just like him trying to be very careful and like respectful with women and the women there. And all the women there are like very genuinely there to potentially get their second chance at love. Many of them have also lost a partner, have raised kids, and now it's like their turn. So just seeing some of those stories as well.
How's the diversity in the contestants?
Not great.
Yeah, not great, but
not great. But also, he's like white and 70, and just give the man what he wants. So
we're not. Yeah,
we don't need that.
The douchiness is taken out of the episode. Like it feels like I feel like everyone's trying to, everyone's pulling for him. It seems to find love, and he seems. I can't. I have to go watch.
Actually, let's watch it.
Is he 70, 75?
71? And it's only an hour. So it's only an hour long. That's something I would also do is snip this down to an hour, the show.
Yeah, for sure. You know how everybody on The Bachelor and Bachelorette are always like topless in bathing suits. Like, are there pool parties? Do we see him with a shirt off?
Do they get drunk?
No.
It's not yet.
No, not yet. We've had a cookout. We've had a rose ceremony. We have not seen anybody drunk or taking their top off or stealing or
any hot tub scenes yet?
No.
Not yet.
Do we just respect elders and they don't do that? Like, God,
I think I'm that age crazier than ever when they go.
When I'm 70, I'm like,
is there going to be cat fights? No, the women are too.
Oh yeah, do they do that business?
No. We had a one-on-one, and one of the women who's at like practicing cosmetologist was doing her hair. Like they just are
helping each other.
It's a harem. Really, it's a harem.
This sounds beautiful. Like it sounds like what everybody needs right now is like some good old PG love, like just some PG, like real solid, easy relationship.
Is that Jake's mom on it?
She went home night 1, so that didn't last very long.
That didn't work out.
Hey, ladies, do you think there will ever be a same-sex bachelor or bachelorette on looking?
Was there one? Like a side show?
No. I really hope so, though. I really hope they learn from The Ultimatum. Because I don't know if you guys have ever watched The Ultimatum. It's on Netflix. Okay. But it is a horrid show with straight people. Horrible. And it was fantastic with gay women. And non-binary people. It was
I was going to say they need a non-binary contestant. That's what they need.
That came out in May, I want to say, this year.
Okay, because I remember back in the day, and I can't remember who this person was. I feel like she might have been an Asian woman. It was back in the day, and men and women would both go on the show.
Tila Tequila. I think that's what you're talking about.
Right? And then she
Wow.
She would decide if it was like a guy because she could do both.
Yeah, that was like a throwback VH1 show. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, that's
I'm aging
I hadn't thought about that in so long. That was like maybe one of the first like queer dating shows we've maybe seen. But yeah, as Justine said, The Ultimatum Queer Love on Netflix was very, very, very well done.
Okay.
Sure, I would love to see that on The Bachelor. I just don't know if ABC and their audience of like middle America white women are
does Disney
open
own
to
it?
that. Disney
Disney owns ABC and all of them.
So it's a little touch and go. I don't know.
Becca is now in a same-sex feud.
No.
Yes.
And Gabby. Because one of the most recent bachelorettes.
Oh, Becca Tilly.
Becca
the
Tilly.
other Becca.
Becca Tilly, right? She now is with took a very long, because they have a podcast for another show, but it took a very long time. But she,
Eventually,
I think, decided to share her relationship. And Gabby,
the other Becca's pregnant now, right? With her.
She just had the baby.
Just had a baby. Yeah.
Do we like him?
Now,
Yeah, now.
Yeah.
Not when he was on the show. He was
now when he's terrible at it. Yeah, he was a little doofy on the show.
She saw through that. I mean, all I saw was the body.
Yeah.
I mean, that's enough.
He's a tall drink of water.
Yep.
Yeah, they met on Paradise. Bachelor in Paradise tends to be way more successful than Bachelorette.
So much more sex.
Yeah, a lot more sex. They spend a lot more time together. They spend so much more time together on Paradise.
Oh, right, because they're living together.
Mm-hmm.
What is the most hated? What is the most hated? What's that word? Like person, lead, and like
the villain. Who's the worst villain of all time?
Like who was like? There was just like, this is terrible to watch.
Juan Pablo.
I was gonna say Juan Pablo was really
usually
bad.
Named as one of the worst bachelors.
Yeah.
It was crazy because he was a dad too.
What did he do?
He was a father.
Yeah.
He was an asshole.
Yeah, he just like very clearly didn't take the women seriously. He also had a weird moment with Claire where he like whispered something like vulgar in her ear and she like left the show like after.
She got
weird fantasy suite episode where Claire like went off on him. It was just he was a bit of a slime ball. Yeah.
Hey,
I want to know favorite one.
Can I just hear your opinion on every single one? Can I go through everything? No, but Claire's ex, the guy,
Dale.
What do you think of Dale?
Not much. They left after like 3 episodes. There's not much to like think about, really.
I couldn't believe that. I knew that when they went into that house or that room, that little like cabana or whatever, and he so had a boner and he was trying to cover it because the cameras came in because they were making out, and then he was turning the other way. It was one of my funniest. I was like, he's trying to cover it. Of course he
was there for the fame. Yeah. He just wanted the fame, right? He wanted to be the next Bachelor.
Maybe I don't even know. But them editing that season together and Tasia having to come in and save the day, it was the best. It was fantastic. It was a fantastic so amazing to watch. This lady just refused to continue to be the lead of the show in the middle of COVID when there was the testing was funky and the contestants were all there sitting there looking at her, and Tasia is completely different from Claire. So like, how are we going to do this? It was amazing.
Yeah, that was crazy that Claire did that.
She didn't give
it was crazy. Like, she didn't care.
It was also crazy to think it was. I forget it was a COVID season. Those guys had to test multiple times. They were sequestered for like 2 weeks in quarantine, and then to come out for her to be like, "Fuck you guys, I'm leaving with the hot one, and then I'm out, and I don't care."
that was
like, I fucked Dale. We're out of here. We're
gone.
Yeah. That's basically
good luck.
We're done.
And then Dale's gonna dump me.
Yeah, and then it's gonna be okay.
Right.
Who was the most loved? Like, do you think? Like, who was the most? Like everyone's like, I loved that. I loved that season. That lead. That
couple.
Everyone or us?
You.
Oh, us. Okay.
Ooh, us.
Yeah, this is about you guys.
We only care about your opinion, okay?
It's hard to find a lead male, like a Bachelor lead that I loved.
Yeah.
But the season that I loved watching was the first season of our podcast, which was Ari. He was.
I kind of remember him actually.
Yeah, he was like an older Bachelor they plucked from like the past. He was.
He was a race car driver or something.
A race car driver.
Yes.
Yeah. Blue eyes, brown hair.
In California now or something.
Rich parents.
Hawaii.
Yeah. They live in Hawaii now.
Hawaii.
The woman he chose. He was very much like a dud, but he had a great group of girls. And that was our first season recapping, and we would like continue our same ritual of like me drinking wine.
Yeah, we didn't know who was listening, so we were just
drunk as hell on the microphone, just having a blast. Yeah,
those are the best conversations.
Yes.
Say things you wouldn't say.
I'm so jealous of your job. It sounds like so much fun. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, that is so. I'm like, we did it real wrong. Like this is so much fun.
Wait, you do the podcast after you watch the show, or it's scheduled for when you can make it work?
So we watch the episodes usually ahead of time.
Yeah.
A couple days before they air live, and then we drop it maybe 2 days after the show airs.
Yeah.
And do you get a lot of the contestants as guests?
They are now under some sort of like contracted embargo where they're only allowed on Bachelor sanctioned podcasts. But we used to do interviews, and if y'all want to go back and listen to interviews, we got some good ones.
We have some good ones. We've done Rachel Lindsay, which was like, we love her to death.
Pinnacle. Yeah.
Yes. Venmo John we interviewed as well.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Bibiana from Ari's season. I'm trying to think who else.
And you can't get the contestants. Like the Bachelor Nation owns all of them.
ABC's got them on lock. So
that's ridiculous.
We used to get someone too.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the past, like 5 years, I'd say since we've started our podcast, there's been like a proliferation of like independent podcasters talking Bachelor content. And ABC, I guess, saw contestants or heard contestants going on these podcasts and revealing a little bit too much or really giving too much of the tea or too much truth about production. And so they were like, nah, we're going to start our own podcasts.
Of course they are.
Funnel the contestants that way. So
that franchise,
I think
we had
everyone listening needs to go listen, and then they'll have no choice but to pay you so much money that they have to also buy your podcast.
Yes,
because that's ridiculous. If you started like if you're one of the original podcasts and they have not like brought you into the fold to pay you in some form to like
or host the after show.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. So if y'all are listening, go listen to the podcast, because that really is like, don't go and do your own so you can keep the money. Like that's crazy. That's your, can't you like do something and take, that's my idea, you stole it? Or no, that doesn't how it works.
I'd also say like, it's not surprise. I mean, yeah, sure. I'm not going to say no to money. They want to give us a little check. I'll take it.
A lot, big check.
A big check. But I would say like Justine and I, we've always been positioned as like the Bachelor, the rebels of Bachelor Nation.
Love that.
We talk very unfiltered about the show, very raw. Even when the contestants come on, like, we're not gonna like.
Yeah, we're not going to take it easy.
We're going to take it easy. We're going to ask the questions that we want to know and that our audience wants to know. So I think that's where our brand and our success has come from, is people loving the fact that we are kind of the rebellious, like, stepsisters of Bachelor Nation. We have a lot of fun. We love the show, but we're going to talk about some things at the same time, So
that's smart, though. That's smart marketing to make people go watch it. That's even smarter.
You know what they should also have? Like a segment in the Bachelor. Where you guys go and talk to the contestants and you like, and you like go
if you want that.
Yeah. And then you go give them like the loading. Do you remember back in the day, they used to hide spies that was like a really good friend of the Bachelor. That was good. I like that.
Yeah, they should bring that back, actually.
They should bring that back. And then we say that we should be on if they ever need to, like, if we want to find out if they want to have kids, if they actually could be good parents, then they have to take care of our 7 kids.
Yeah, they have to babysit your children.
Nice. Spin off.
That's a date.
Yeah.
Like take 7 little children and go babysit them and see what happens.
Yeah. And handle some teenage hormones and see how you go.
How they can
They should probably go on the Amazing Race together too, to see how they problem solve, because it'll probably break up real quick. Because that's real life. It's like running through life.
And we're gonna wrap it up, but you guys, you two are best friends, and you've been best friends since high school.
Yeah, we've been.
Aren't we so lucky to like have a best friend for that long?
Yeah. I realize like how valuable that is as I get older, and as people are dropping off in life, as people are moving on and just like deprioritizing other relationships, that it is actually like really, really vital and really special, and to have a friend for this long.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean,
to work together too,
to work together. You know, so many I don't know if you guys have noticed, but a lot of best friends, when they go to work together or they start something together, it fucking blows up and doesn't and they aren't friends anymore and all this.
9th grade friends.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. When you got a history like this, it's like family.
Yeah, I think what we definitely have created here together and with our community is something that we like to think is very sacred. And our number one motto, Justine and I have always been like, keep it fun. If we're not having fun, we don't do it. We always check in with each other. If it's not fun, all right, we don't have to do this next. Like, so that is kind of at the center and the core of what keeps this thing going as well.
Who does the accounting of the two of you and who finds it fun?
Justine.
Natalie, you know what it is.
I hope she finds it fun.
You know what it is.
Yeah. I'm like, what's in our bank account? And she's like, oh my God, I don't even know how to get in. She does it all.
Chasing people to pay.
Chasing people. I just did that yesterday. Yeah.
And you know what? I have no shame. Like our accountants or like our people on our team are like, I'm like, I'll just go right to them and I'll just email them and I'll email them twice a day. Like,
so
I'm not embarrassed.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, that's the thing.
Payment?
Yes.
And I'm like this. She means, hello, how are you?
No, I don't.
Where's my money?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Natalie. I don't mean hello, how are you at all.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes money can be stressful, but also if you're like really into the numbers and catching people for not paying you, it can be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like a spy.
Thank you guys for joining us. Where can everyone find you? Where should they go? How can they listen? Tell us everything.
Yeah, you can find us everywhere podcasts are found. We're currently recapping Love is Blind. We're probably going to follow up essentially with F-Boy Island is coming next.
Yeah.
And then find us on Patreon, patreon.com/2blackgirls1rose. We do a ton of other bonus content. That's where we do all of our Bachelor content. That's where our whole community hub is. So if you want more from us, join the Patreon. But yeah, listen to us everywhere.
It was really fun talking to you guys. And
did she say Fuckboy Island?
Yeah, Fuckboy Island. F-Boy
Yeah,
Island.
F-Boy Island. But yeah, Fuckboy Island. Yeah.
Fuckboy Island.
And they're all just so many hot guys there.
Oh,
yeah,
that's a good one.
Attractive. That's a good one. You want to talk about diversity?
Yeah. If you don't know that one, that's a good one.
Yeah.
This will be the third season. It used to come on season 1 and 2 was on HBO. So it's they
good.
do and talk and say whatever they want. So it's really good.
I love hot guys.
And yeah, some good hot.
He loves it. It's her passion.
My
Hot
passion.
guys are her passion. So, and I'm
looking for a new
we
boyfriend.
share an algorithm. I'm like, oh my, she likes the dick flippers, like the ones who stand there and like, do like a hula hoop move and their dicks fly in their pants. Come on.
I like
or they do the backflips. What? Wait, your face looks like
I'm not on that side of TikTok. What are you talking about?
Oh, look.
I'll send you one.
Okay.
No, I'm on lesbian TikTok. I'm like heavy on lesbian TikTok right now.
That we were there for a minute too, because you've got a few.
I do. Yes.
Yeah.
There are some. I mean, I feel like there are some lesbians on TikTok.
My sister identifies as queer, so she'll send me guys and girls. This girl's so hot. I'm like, okay. So I get my algorithm is constantly rotating from
swinging.
this one. And my sister, I'm like this, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's hilarious. Oh, thank you guys so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. And
I'm gonna go watch Fuckboy Island and The Golden Bachelor.
Can't wait to see you in Time Magazine as #1 again, and on Forbes. Let's just call it as it is.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.